Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Gemini Twin Ascension. I'm doing this live early tonight because the Karmic got called into work, and um, he's only going to be there for a few hours, so I'm not going to be able to do this later like I had initially planned. And also, a little topic come up in talking to someone that I feel we really ought to talk about. And I know when she sees this, I'm not scolding you again. I know you understand what I said, but it's just something that I feel a lot of other people could benefit from hearing about, and that is codependency. It's not just, on physical things like drugs, alcohol, sex, things like that. It is codependency on other people. Um, we get so wrapped up in relationships, whether it's with family members, our twins, what have you, that we let them control our emotions. Um, our twins not talking to us, so we get depressed, we get stressed out, but we really have to stop and ask ourselves why. Why are we feeling this way? Because they're not talking to us. And I told her that it was because she's right now she's not trusting in her connection. And a lot of us do that. We blame our feelings on other people. I i do it as well. I get pissed off and I automatically blame the karmic. He's done this, he's done this, he's done this. And when the fact of the matter is, I've allowed myself to be disappointed in something he's done again, and it makes me mad. Should I really be surprised that he's done this again? Cycles, patterns say no. He's he's always going to be this way. Um, but it's my sister just messaged me and she kind of threw everything off. Um, but we need to learn that our emotions are our own. Um, Figure out why we're feeling that way, and once we figure out why, that's the first step to healing it, and moving past it. It's like I was uh, telling her, she's stressed because, about him not talking because her faith in the connection isn't as strong right now as it normally is. And that happens to all of us. I mean, this whole journey is just up, down, sideways, every direction possible. It's not an easy journey. And, I wouldn't be a friend if I didn't, tell her, my perspective of it, to basically call her out on her bullshit. And she knows I love her. Uh, but I really think people need to be start being more honest about why they feel the way they feel, and why we allow others to have such control over our own emotions. I bet, like I said, I am guilty of it, but I am trying really hard to get out of that. Start not letting the karmic affect me as much as he does. It's not easy, especially when he's in my face, all the time about certain things. It's very hard to keep my emotions in check, especially around him. If I show, at least a little bit of discomfort or, being upset, he latches onto that, and that's just the fuel that he needs to just continue doing what he's doing. You know, um, he feeds off of those emotions, and the less he gets from me, uh, the angrier he honestly gets. I mean, he is codependent on me to the point where it's an obsession, and it scares me because I know that that obsession is going to make things really difficult when I finally, speak up to him and say, this is enough. I'm done. it's time to, it's time for a divorce. It's not going to be an easy conversation to have, and it's lowering my voice a little bit because, yeah, it is early in the day, and I do have kids home, and I really don't want them hearing this right now. But um, I have to be a little more dependent on myself, which I haven't been for, well, majority of my life. I went from being a teenager, student in high school, to a wife and mother in a matter of a couple of months. I had no time in between to learn to stand on my own. And yes, that does scare me. But I know, thank you. I know I could do it. And I'm hearing him say, yes, babe, you can. You're strong enough. You can do this with or without me. Yeah, and I prefer with him, but I know I need to learn to stand on my own, as well as a lot of us do. We've got to surrender, the control. And I've preached on this a lot, the surrender, the whys, the hows. Just know that things are going to turn out the way they're supposed to when they're supposed to. The divine timing, we all preach about that, but it's something that a lot of us have a really hard time, really buying into, really believing that things are going to happen when they're supposed to. We are all in this, mindset. We want what we want when we want it. We don't want to wait. But the universe has a way of, making us wait so that whatever we're saying we want can be the best possible thing for us. Like right now, I would give everything to be with my twin right now. I'd love to hear from him as well, but I'd love any of that. But I know right now timing is not right for us. There's still things that we have to work out. There's other people that really do have to be taken into consideration before we can come together like we want to. So it's a definitely a test of patience, which I feel my patience has gotten a lot better because of this. It is a test of faith. We know this connection is real, but sometimes we doubt it. It is a test of our own self love. Do we love ourselves enough to wait for things to be the way they're supposed to be? Can we wait for it to be the benefit, the highest benefit for everyone involved? No, there are some of the situations it's not. It is for the highest benefit of everyone, but some are not going to view it that way. They're not going to understand why it had to be this way because they just don't understand enough about themselves. They don't understand enough about spirit. They don't understand enough about any of these connections, karmic, soulmate, twin flame. They don't understand enough about these connections to know that, excuse me, that everything is how it's supposed to be. If, do I like the fact that I'm dealing with what I'm dealing with right now? No, I don't. But I know that this is teaching me some things, about myself to where I can be the stronger woman that I was meant to be. So I may scream, I may cry, I may ask, the angels, why? Why do I have to do this? But the better way to go about that is not ask why, it's ask what is it trying to teach me? And like I said, this a lot of this is teaching me to have more faith in myself, know that I am worthy of being loved. I am more than what all of these assholes that had I was around as a teenager told me I was. I am so much more than what they made me believe I was. And I honestly think, had they not treated me the way they did, I don't think I would have latched onto the karmic so tightly when we met. I was this 16-year-old, very unsure of myself, didn't feel good enough for anybody, and here's this 22-year-old man. Yeah, I can't really call him a man. And I will say, yes, the karmic, when we got together, he was good looking. This good looking 22-year-old that was interested in me. Why would he be interested in me? And I kind of latched onto that and didn't didn't slow down enough to stop and examine things. At the time, I just rushed headlong into it. We met in November of 96. We were married in September of 97. We weren't even together for 10 months before we um, got married. And for a lot of that, our dating relationship, he was in jail. Granted, this was stuff that happened before we met. He had gotten a DUI, which is kind of funny how he got the DUI. He was sitting in a parking lot trying to sober up, but the keys were in the ignition. So they tagged him with a DUI. So he spent some time in jail while we were dating because of that. So we didn't have a whole lot of time to really get to know each other. I mean, how about, little phone calls or um, taking him to work when they finally gave him work release. There was just we and when we were together, it was always he was always real, happy to see me, real nice. I never got to see the other side of him. What happens when he gets mad? Does he know how to control his temper? You know, what does he say when he's mad? I never really got to see that because he wasn't around a whole lot. And then the day before the start of my senior year in high school, I found out that I was pregnant with my oldest son. And my mom, which I honestly, she at the time she was the last one I thought would have done, pushed for this, just because Catholic background as well. But my older sister had already had a child out of wedlock, but with mine, my mom and my dad sat down. I can remember we had this conversation at McDonald's of all places. It was the karmic, myself, my mom, and my dad. And we were sitting at McDonald's talking, and my mom actually said, I honestly think the best thing for her, talking about me right now, is to allow them to go ahead and get married now. That way it's not as stressful on her while she's pregnant. Because they knew that we had already discussed getting married after I graduated high school. It's just the baby kind of changed some things around. And I honestly think, don't get me wrong, I love my son. I love all my kids. But I honestly think, had I not gotten pregnant when I did, the relationship would have run its course, and we would have ended up breaking up. But and things happen the way they do, and they happen for a reason. You know, um, we've been together for this long, and then I finally got fed up to the point where I reached out on an app and I found my twin. And I don't, if things hadn't happened the way they did, I don't think I would have been on that app at that time. I probably wouldn't have met him because, well, of where he lives, where he's from. There's just so many factors that if things hadn't have worked out the way they have, I probably wouldn't have met him yet. I'd probably still be in the dark, not understanding, what I'm actually supposed to do. Sorry, my throat's kind of scratchy. So I am going to pull a few cards. I want to try to keep this. See, what are we at right now? We're at 1441. All right, that's great. And if Ophelia watches this, she'll know why I'm laughing at that. Um, but my 13-year-old, my dad's supposed to be coming to pick him up in a little while to go watch my little brother um, play basketball because my little brother's wanting to teach my 13-year-old some stuff about basketball, and he's wanting him to come watch him play. So he should be here in about 30 minutes to and I'm dropping everything. Hang on. Ophelia is asking for the link, and it's going to be a little I don't have my headset in, so if it starts echoing, I'm gonna have to mute her like she does me sometimes. But I really don't want to be running live when my dad gets here because it'll get chaotic. Dogs start barking for a minute, and so I'm going to try to keep this. He's supposed to be here. It's 4:44. Mm-hmm. My time right now, and he's supposed to be here at 5:15. So I'm going to try to keep this under 30 more minutes, I should say, before he gets here. That way, it's not. If I have to, I'll mute it and I'll let Ophelia talk if she comes in because I just sent her the link. I'll let her talk for a little bit while I deal with my dad. The other day. Yes, I see you. Hang on. I'm waiting for your video to load onto the screen. Okay, I see you. I hope it doesn't echo. I may have to mute you. Well, come on. There it is. I hope it doesn't echo because I don't have my headset in right now. Because I was gonna just do this kind of quick because
Sure, name your live about me.
Well, it was not you. It was that come up too. It was if you watch the beginning of it, I do it too. I am really bad about blaming my emotions on instead of owning up to them myself and figuring out why I feel the way I do. So yeah, you kind of sparked the thought process, but the more I sat here and thought about it after I told you what I from my perspective what was going on with you, the more I thought that there's a lot of us deal with that. We let others, control our emotions to the point it's it's unhealthy. So I was like, well, I got a little bit of time before my dad gets here and the karmic comes home because he said that he'd probably be at work for like 2 hours, hopefully longer. But so I figured I'd run a live right now before he comes home and I won't be able to do it later.
He won't be home for a while because something else is going to happen. He's going to be stuck there for quite a few hours.
That's what he was talking about. He said, "Like I get there and something's going to break down. And it's going to take us forever to fix it."
Well, did I not tell you? You're like, he won't be on. He's on call, so he'll be home unless he gets called in. I was like, he will.
Good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise, he'll be over there. He'll be over there. But yeah, him and Bubba were out there cleaning out the building because they were going to put the boat in there because they went in and it's part Bubba's Christmas present and part Jeremy's. They paid $300 for this little boat for duck hunting, and they were cleaning the garage back here out. And I walked back there and I looked at him. I said, seriously, a boat that's made for water, have a car that leaks. You'd rather put the boat in the building and leave my car outside. He's like, well, I guess we can put your car in there if it and it fits.
That's just. I'm sorry. He's fucking stupid.
But I'm not. I stopped that in August. Yeah. And I could see the smoke coming out of your ears trying to figure out what the fuck I'm talking about. You've never seen that meme? Either that or she's frozen.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Well, there's this meme. It says, well, I can't remember the exact words of it. It says, I'm not fucking stupid. I was, but I stopped. Meaning, yeah. These cards just don't want to work today, which is weird because this was my very first deck. I only grabbed a couple of my decks. I still had the ones out from this morning where I did the pick a card. Okay, I hear stuff. Ha! Okay, that's why it wouldn't come out. Maybe do that. Okay. But you understood what I was saying a while ago about how you're codependent with him, and I can't hear you now. And I think you're frozen it up. Nope, that card does not. It's wanting to stick. Why is that card wanting to stick? Huh? That card. That one of the cards that come out in the picker card this morning, the Empress, which I was watching another reader last night that I come across, and the Emperor and the Empress were coming out a lot for the Gemini reads. Are you okay? You're not frozen. It looked like you were frozen there for a second.
Like, I get why I had to switch my Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Yeah, I was playing Call of Duty with my friend's husband, and then his friend got online. He's like, I'm gonna go eat dinner, and then gets in the game with his friend. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. She invited me actually to go over and watch the Polar Express with her and the kids. I'm like, but I work in the morning. I'm like, how long is the movie? And they're like, oh, 2 hours. I'm like, shit. She's like, well, we could watch something Tuesday night because she knows that I don't work until Wednesday afternoon. So I put a big smiley face because that's, it's a good deal.
You need to get out.
It is. It's just tonight, no. And I don't feel like driving myself to Wendy's to eat Wendy's again. I did that 2 nights in a row. And I feel bloated. So I'm just going to stick with eating my oranges because that's all the food I got.
Where'd it go?
But yeah, I really wanted to send him the link, but I still don't even think he watched my last video we did after that video he watched of me and you. Like, put it this way, the reason why I've been freaking out so much is because he's like glued to the PlayStation and he hasn't been on it. So, and I know because I've been on it, because I've been glued to it too, but I'm still glued to it.
And you're glued to it just waiting to see if he's coming on.
But I've been glued to it before that too. I was glued to it before he even had a PlayStation back. Because remember, I was always playing Fortnite and begging you to come on and play with me.
Yeah, I suck at Fortnite.
But still, that's where I'm getting at is it's like, yeah, like play a PlayStation with him as a perk, but I'm still getting on to play regardless, whether he's there or not. Because last time I boycotted PlayStation was because he didn't have one and I didn't want to play without him. And then that's when I started playing again. And then he finally got one again. And then we were both playing Fortnite again together. And then we both got Call of Duty and then we've been playing that. So I'm not boycotting it again just because he's not on. I did that before and I enjoy playing it. It's something I can control. I mean, minus when the other killers kill me all the time. Other players kill me, sorry. But yeah, I really wanted to send him the link to this, but last time I did that. So I just advertise it on YouTube. If he runs across it, he can watch it. But like I said, I sent him a link to the last video me and you did on my channel.
Was that no?
Eh,
That one was on my channel. Your breakdown, your meltdown was on my channel.
Yeah, and then the next day when we did the live on my channel, I sent him the link and he never watched it.
Mm, I think he did.
I think so, but I'm not sure. Unless he's just extremely busy at getting shit done instead of just processing and ignoring me like I think he is because I'm probably overthinking. I just want to talk to him.
I know.
At least I showered today. That's a plus. I haven't done that for a couple days.
Yeah.
I just been baby wiping it, putting dry shampoo in. I was good.
Oh my
That's the only bad. Like, here's the thing: is I used to shower every day, twice a day, and then I got down to this depression stage. And when I'm in this depression mode, it's like every other day I shower. I'm like, oh, my armpits don't smell. More deodorant. Oh, baby wipe. Okay, I'm good. And like wash my face, but it's like getting out of this depression mode and getting back into showering every single day is hard, especially during the wintertime when my skin's dry and it cracks a lot, regardless how much lotion I use. So I
Yeah.
also tend to shower in the wintertime every other day too because it dries out my skin.
What? I. It's your brothers. Whatever.
We got any viewers yet?
No.
I
Ow.
still have a feeling that one viewer that watched your entire live, because you did that live the night after we finished my live, but you did it on your channel because now he has the link to your channel.
Mm, I don't know. Ow.
Okay, now let's
Oh.
focus on me.
What?
Oh,
Yeah.
I
Oh,
advertised you on Instagram and already got a like for the photo, so we might get a viewer.
cool. Well, I've got some cards. Like I said, I didn't pull everything out. I just didn't fucking feel like it because I didn't want to have to get them put back up before he come home. And I think I've got one, two, three, four, five, six decks sitting out right now. Not that I'm using them all. It's just what I pulled. Seven decks. Sorry, I've got one in front of me too. But for the masculine, we have the messages from him. We have the devil, which came out the other day. The manipulation and self imprisonment. They're I get the feeling like they've got karmic people in their ears, just that, manipulating them into doing things that they don't really want to do. And then also the self enslavement has been coming up again. The other day, uh, a lot of the minds that put themselves in are an illusion. They can if they really want. And we have,
Of course, you start breaking up when you're talking about the divine masculine and the illusions.
yeah, I see, and I know karmic is she's doing the same thing. And then, but we also have um, number five, unity, which is the Hierophant. It says, do the right thing for the right reasons. Compare traditional versus new approaches to see which works for you, a spiritually minded community. Um, and that kind of goes into what I was telling you earlier, and I think the masculine's kind of reiterating that. Um, Send him a message, say, I'm trying to give you your space. I hope you're doing okay, but do not expect a response. Just let him know that you're there, that you're thinking of him. You're gonna wrestle harder next time. What the hell
What'd you
was
say,
that?
Philip?
What was that?
What'd you say? Um, ah, it's it's my friend's husband
And then
playing Call of Duty with me.
we have the Queen of Pentacles, ambition, and that with this one, I'm getting that
All right, Philip, I'm watching a YouTube. Oh, I'm actually in a YouTube live while I'm playing, so I'm gonna go ahead and unplug the headphones.
the masculine,
Yell my name when you need me.
the masculine certain set goals and ways that he's wanting wanting us to come together. He's got certain visions of how he wants our lives together to be, and he's working towards securing those things.
I
Um,
think that's one of the things that kind of like scared him off was the fact that I my living situation and everything else going on right now, plus my whole job situation, and I want to find a new job and stuff. And I think that's what scared him off.
he's got a vision in his head of how he really wants things to be. And this is what I've been saying to you for days now. Um, and the masculines are reinforcing what I'm saying, and so is Buck. The trust card. If you watched any of my other videos, you know what this card means to me, because this horse right here reminds me of my horse, and he was the very definition of trust to me. But they're wanting us to keep the faith in the connection, even though on the surface things are not, not ideal for us. They want us to trust in this connection, believe that things are going to work out how they're supposed to. The way, we contracted in the beginning for them to happen.
He wants
And
us, but what I'm picking up from what you're saying is not only does he want to be stable, if he wants to move forward, he wants to make sure I'm in a stable place with a stable job. Because
yes,
I've been at this place for 2 years, but I fucking hate life working there.
yeah,
And
they've got a very clear vision of what they want our lives together to be like, and they're really working towards making that happen. And then
yeah,
for the
that's where I'm getting at is the fact that because he mentioned it before when we were talking. He's like, "How am I supposed to go up there if you ain't got a job?" That's where I'm getting at. But I'm saying I resonate with the card you're pulling.
yeah,
And long story short,
and then we have the Queen of Cups. It's the thoughtful, sensitive woman, and the feminines are telling the masculines. And I've got a phone call coming in.
is that you?
Yes, hang on. I don't know how. Well, it didn't. I tried to answer it and it didn't answer. Hang on.
Oh,
Mater, call your papa. Okay. But the feminines are telling the masculines, we're here, we love you, we're in this for the long haul. We don't want you giving up. Because right now we're in our egos, we're seeing things, and you know, we want to tell them we're not going anywhere. Know
I'm
this.
laughing because I'm not being cynical. I'm laughing because for the last couple of days that had like normally any other time that's my thought process, and for the last couple of days it has like today I started believing again. The last couple of days I have not been believing.
I know. And then we have the Six of Autumn, which is the Six of Pentacles, which we just had something. Where'd it go? I think it's up there. It says, the good you do comes back to you, an unexpected inflow of money, borrowing wisely, or repaying a debt. Um, To me, this is the first line of it is what's really standing out. You know, the karma thing, and it's just a little reminder nudge from the feminine to the masculine to, you know, do things to benefit people in an unconditional loving way, and then that will in turn come back to, it's just a little, it's a little a reminder for them.
Is
And
my
then
game noise bothering you? Because I can always mute it.
your what?
Is the game bothering you? Because I have it on just regular TV. I can always mute it.
I haven't heard it.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. I just lost my, I don't know if Mater heard me to call or not. Hmm.
Hmm. Well,
Another
thank
ambition.
you. Like, you're giving me confirmation on like where I am too, and like you're just giving me a bunch of confirmation, and I'm totally resonating with what you're pulling tonight, unlike the other two nights when I was all like, I hate you.
Yeah. And then from the feminine, we have the emperor. And again, the whole, you know, ambition word is coming up. And it's another, yeah, thank you. Another TVO moment, another I see you moment. I see how hard you're working, but we want you to slow down. We know you have certain things you want to get done, but we want you to slow down. And then we have courage, which honestly I think the feminines need to listen to this one a little bit. It says you are safe, fear it is illusion, and set strong boundaries. Um, you know, the whole fear thing, it's got two different meanings. It means face everything in your eyes or fuck everything and run. You know, it
And I
depends.
was in the fucking everything and run mode there for a couple days because I was just
And
upset.
we've got to get into that mindset that it is an illusion. Face it, transmute it, move through it. And then the messages from spirit to both twins, and I can hear the kids in there, and they're kind of throwing. That's why I like doing these at night when it's quiet. The Page of Swords again. That worries me
Page of Swords, why does that worry you?
because that's one of the ones that said possible problems with a minor child.
Uh,
That worries me. Yes, sir. Okay. Hey, you just tried to call me, but I couldn't answer it. I tried to answer it, and it wouldn't go through. And then we have the Prince of Autumn. It says cautious but wise action, meticulous attention to detail, and kindness to others. Uh, both twins are in that right now. You know, very cautious about each step forward because, like I said earlier, taking action is going to cause a fallout for certain twins. So they are being very cautious and thinking things through, sometimes to the point of overthinking as they're stepping forward. But the universe is saying it. Sometimes it is wise to be a little cautious in, you know, how you're proceeding, but don't overthink it. Don't, you know, don't sit there and think of every possible worst case scenario that could come up. Don't do that. You're going to drive yourself crazy.
yeah, don't pull Jessica.
Yeah, just be cautious because, but, and then we have sanctuary, and this right here is saying you're safe. It, things, we're watching out for you in whatever way that you're worried about. The universe has you. They're watching out for you. They're safeguarding you. You know, think of that, you know, white light bubble around you, bubble wrap. You're wrapped in the wings of an angel. You're safe. Don't stress about it. but it also says spend more time alone, meditate, or go on a retreat. And what did I just tell you a while ago? To get out of your head, get into your heart, go meditate.
Yeah, and I think like where he's been too is like the whole, even I resonate with the fallout card because he's afraid that if he comes forward, everything's going to fall apart right now instead of come together because he's just running in fear like I was.
Yeah.
So I'm resonating.
And then we have the Knight of Pentacles, which is, you know, eventual positive outcome, which eventual, it's not immediate. It is coming, but it is a process. It is slow. And then we have, and this is one of the extra cards that's in the Beautiful Creatures deck. There's two, I almost want to call them, wild cards that are in it. And this one, um, it says you are one. The universe is sitting there saying, this connection is real. You are you're whole on your own, but you're two halves of one being. You can be whole on your own. You can be whole together. It sounds a little odd, but um, just tap into that knowing that you are connected. Hang on. Okay, where did my book go? Because I feel like I need to read part of that out of the book. Because I remember reading part of it one time.
Ooh, cold chill.
Please stop that, Mater.
Got a cool new emblem though.
Hmm?
Got a cool new emblem though.
Mater. Okay, it says this card represents learning about and acting out of self love and self acceptance. Learning and accepting that you are good enough, you are whole on your own. People may not be accepting of you for who you really are. You must learn to accept and love yourself and know that you are worth much more than people make you out to be. It is vital and empowering to accept your flaws, physical
What'd you
and
say,
emotional,
Philip?
small. Know and accept that everyone and everything is different, just as you are. And I was
Hello?
just sitting here talking about this earlier
I said,
about
what
how
you said?
how when I was younger, I was made to feel like I was not good enough, and I think that's why I latched on so much to the karmic, because he
Here's the end.
made me feel like I
Um,
was.
hold on. I'll go ahead and exit. Since I'm not pulling cards, I'm gonna go ahead and get off
Okay,
and I'm gonna play this for a bit.
because I'm probably fixing it with it anyways, because Mater just said that my dad's going to be here in a few minutes. So yeah.
Well, you're doing a good job and I resonate, so I'll talk to you later.
Okay. But like I was just saying, this is that card right there, and it seems like it kind of sealed this reading up, wrapped it up in a little tight little package, because it's bringing it right around to what I was talking about in the beginning, the codependency, the not thinking you're good enough, things like that. And this is universe's way of, saying you are good enough, you are whole on your own without somebody else, without the need for that extra validation from anybody. And I've said this to my twin as well, because he cannot take, does not take compliments very well at all. And to me, I think he is just, this handsome, loving, sexy, I love everything about him. Not just, and he can be very nice to look, but he doesn't see himself that way. And we've had a discussion before, and he says, yeah, I don't think I am, but whatever. I said, well, kind of how you think, because he's called me, gorgeous like a movie star. And I told him, well, I don't think I am, but if you see it, then I'm going to take your word for it. But I'm working on, no, I don't think I'm, I really don't. But it's not, I'm seeing myself more for me, instead of what everybody else told me I was. And that right there is just, you know, big circle from beginning to end to tie that up. Um, if you've watched this whole thing, which it's at 45 minutes. Yeah, so I told you it was probably going to be about 45 minutes because my dad will be here. But I hope it resonated. If if it did, like, share, subscribe. Also, go check out Ophelia Grace 1111's page. She is in my featured channels section, along with a couple of other of my Vibe Tribe girls are there as well. I hope y'all have a good night and see you next time. And I always forget that I got to click that twice.